Rayman Raving Rabbids was released in North America on November 19, 2006. One of 9 exclusive Wii launch titles and one of 3 Wii exclusive launch titles published by Ubisoft. Developed by the Ubisoft Montpellier team, who had previously worked on the Rayman series, the cult classic Beyond Good and Evil, and the shockingly good 2005 King Kong movie tie-in game. Rayman Raving Rabbids was a timed exclusive, releasing a few weeks later for both PlayStation 2 and Windows, which was a genuine shock to me when I learned of it, since I had no idea Raving Rabbids had ever been released for another system, and it's baffling why it ever would be, because the only thing that makes this game even remotely interesting is the Wii Remote's motion controls. I'm not sure how this game would even function without motion controls, since every minigame seems to be designed specifically around them. Rayman Raving Rabbids was the 4th game in the Rayman franchise, a series of pretty good platformers. Rayman was released back when platformers absolutely dominated the video game release cycle, when a dozen new platformers were being released every other day, and I'm not sure the series ever did anything to stand apart in that crowded space, but the Rayman games were fairly popular. Rayman 4 began its development as another traditional platformer, but midway through its development, the development team got a hold of the Wii Remote development kits and started creating something very different from the previous Rayman titles. They started developing a collection of oddball minigames based around motion controls. And so the very popular Raving Rabbids spin-off series was born.
They have studied our behavior. They have stolen our technology. They have invaded our living rooms.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Raving Rabbids in stores now. Rated E for everyone.
Back in circa 2007, self-described hardcore gamers on internet discussion boards despaired at the stunning popularity of the Nintendo Wii, shuddered and gibbered at Nintendo's successful efforts to bring more casual gamers into the industry, wailed and moaned at the introduction of silly motion controls into their very serious and very cool hobby. Internet forum drama queens actually used to claim that the Nintendo Wii was ruining the video game industry, and when pressed for evidence of this dork-ravaged despoilation, internet forum drama queens pointed to Rayman Raving Rabbids. Rayman had been a respectable and mildly decent platform series until the Wii and its casual audience and motion controls came along and transformed Rayman into Raving Rabbids, a bestial, lame-brained quagmire of stupid motion-controlled party minigames. Video games were dying, and Rayman was only the first tragic pillar to fall. It was a stupid thing to say then, and it remains a stupid thing to say now, but the sentiment does demonstrate the strange evolution of the Rayman series, from decent platformer with decent commercial success to mediocre party game with seemingly great commercial success. I had never played Rayman Raving Rabbids before now. I always thought that as a party game, it was meant to be played at parties. And as someone with no friends who doesn't go to parties, it just didn't seem like a good fit for me. I was surprised to discover that Raving Rabbids is actually very playable single player. And I didn't feel like a loser at all when I played it alone. No, I didn't feel like a loser at all, shaking my hips to a strange bona fide rendition of Girls Just Wanna Have Fun, utterly alone in my bedroom. No, when I was a child and I used to set up board games to play alone because I couldn't even persuade my own mother to play with me, that's when I felt like a real loser. In Raving Rabbids, Rayman is kidnapped by the titular Raving Rabbid bunny rabbits and forced to participate in a cruel series of mostly boring motion-controlled minigames to earn plungers which he can use to climb his cell walls and escape. The Rabbids are very similar to the Minions from the 2010 hit animated film Despicable Me, the same Minions that later became a scourge in memes shared by middle-aged women on Facebook. The Rabbids are actually, and impressively, slightly more irritating than Minions, and also dumber and louder, and overall generally pretty annoying and off-putting. Raving Rabbids the game is made up of nothing but mini-games, and most of those mini-games are forgettable and uninteresting. They tend to be pretty slow and not especially creative. They're all based around motion controls, but they never use the motion controls in especially interesting or creative ways, and the motion controls here never feel quite as fluid or effortless as they do in Wii Sports. The minigames are, at the least, all basically functional. You never run into a situation where the controls just outright don't work, with the one exception of this cow milking game. As far as I can tell, this cow milking game is not physically possible to complete. You're supposed to wave your arms up and down to finish milking the cow under the time limit, but I waved my arms so fast that I thought my spine was going to shatter, and I still didn't come even close to getting it done in time. Now, I am pretty stupid and fat, but developers have got to make their games playable for stupids and fatties too, so this is on them. The game claims to have 75 mini-games total, but that is a gross exaggeration. When you remove all the repeats, the game has at most maybe 30 mini-games, which is not nearly enough when the entire game is nothing but those mini-games. Even the original Mario Party back on the Nintendo 64 managed to have 50 mini-games, And that was with the entire board game sections included too. Raving Rabbids feels cheap and light on content. The highlight of the game are these rail shooter sections, I guess. I'm not gonna say I never had fun launching plungers at cowboy bunnies, but these rail shooter sections are really slow and repetitive, and overall they're just kind of I did have fun with this rhythm game, but I could not make any sense of the scoring system. According to this text, 2,000 some points is worth 1,000 points. But how many points is 1,000 points worth? 0, apparently. I don't know. This tooth game is genuinely freakish and horrifying. You yank these hideously grinning worms out of holes in this rabbit's teeth, and it's just it freaks me out. Even just watching it again while editing this video is wigging me out. This is some serious body horror, like holy crap. My favorite minigame was this chorus slapping game, where you have to find which choir bunny boy is singing off-key and then slap them in the face, like a Catholic priest with a spanking fetish who can't tell butts from faces. That was a joke about priests raping children. Ha ha ha! My favorite part of the minigame is that the rabbits just rat each other out relentlessly. They point to exactly which of their bunny friends you need to slap, and there's something endlessly delightful to me about how they're willing to sell each other out instantly every time. And I also like slapping the bunnies in their stupid faces. The strangest thing about Raving Rabbids is that the game actually loses interest in itself. And at about the same time I lost interest in it too. About midway through the story, the bunny rabbits in this coliseum go from wildly cheering on your mediocre exploits to falling asleep or just staring numbly and quietly into the distance as you complete yet another identical round of the rhythm game. I've never seen a game get bored with itself before. It's some kind of extraordinary, unprecedented meta-commentary from the developers on how monotonous of a game they created. It's like the game itself is asking, why are you still playing this? The bunny rabbits do eventually get excited again, but the cat's already out of the bag. The man behind the curtain has been revealed, the illusion dispelled. Not even the game's characters want to be in this game. And I didn't either, so I stopped playing. Raving Rabbids is not a terrible game. It's usually functional. The mini-games are okay. The rabbits are kind of funny sometimes. It's just slow and boring, and very, very few of the already limited minigames stand out in any way. It would spawn a long-running series with 4 sequels released on the Nintendo Wii and further sequels on other systems. The Rabbids franchise has far outlasted the Rayman franchise that birthed it, with a new Rabbids game coming out this very year. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope is scheduled to release in 2022.
We are now approaching our destination.
The Rabbids just will not die. Raving Rabbids' most enduring legacy for the Nintendo Wii is that it was the first in a glut of mediocre, barely functional, cheaply produced minigame compilations that would plague the Nintendo Wii's library for the duration of the console's lifespan. Raving Rabbids and its tremendous financial success, combined with its low budget, created a template that dozens of other games would follow, chasing its financial success while putting in the least amount of money and effort possible. Raving Rabbids was the beginning of shovelware.